All right, everybody, welcome. Welcome. So good to be here. I'm really glad I'm here. I'm really glad you're here. I'm really glad Ash is going to be here soon. My guest, Ash Ruiz. Welcome to episode 163 of The Glow. This is a podcast series that I've been doing and I've been really enjoying immensely sharing with you and delving in together. This is, when you're coming in, you can say hello, say where you're from, where you're watching from, where you're viewing from. Feel free to participate at any time. Your participation is always welcome. This is a co-creative adventure. Welcome to Phyllis. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining us. This goes out on Facebook Live right now in this moment, and it also goes out on YouTube. It goes out on iTunes. It goes out on SoundCloud afterwards, so subscribe in those spots if you haven't yet, and you can join my mailing list and always get the episode sent to you as well. Hello, Molly. Good to see you here. So we're gonna dive in. The kind of the essence of this series, the intention behind it. It's like, no opening theme music, no big opening, no big canned whatever. There's nothing canned. Everything is uncanned. Everything is organic. Everything is natural. Everything is authentic. There's nothing scripted. It's just Facebook Live, coming at you live, coming at you in the moment. And then we have on guests. Oh yeah, I do want to tag. And the Facebook is adding some different prompts here and some different options, which is going to expand things. So that's really great. But yeah, the intention is to be spontaneous, to be authentic, to really get something that's real, that's alive, that's not scripted, that's not edited, that's totally raw and genuine, And I think that's something that we're lacking. We're lacking more and more in the world. Everything is kind of prepackaged in a certain way, presented in a certain way. To really come in a space that's really alive and authentic and genuine and to the moment, present to the moment. Is what this is about. So people have been really enjoying it, and the audience is kind of growing over time. Started out with just me for the most part. I had a few guests early on, but I've been doing more and more guests and really amazing people and just getting some really amazing perspectives on different things, and try to get into issues that are sort of exciting, fun, inspiring, interesting. Where is Ash? Are you? I see you're here. Bring him on camera. Yes. So Ash is coming on. Right. Any moment. Adding. So yeah. So just bringing conversations that are kind of on the edge of the culture, on the edge of consciousness, on the cutting edge of the new paradigm of what can arise, and having you join the conversation, having you be able to ask questions, participate, share stories, insights, inspirations, and know that's something that is welcome at any time. There he is.
Hello. I was just sharing this with my other pages.
Yeah, go for it.
Excellent. Hello, everybody.
There.
Such a joy to be here. So happy that we could do this. Okay, let's see. Let me share it to one more page.
So Ash and I have done a lot of retreats together over the years, and sat songs and hung out and had fun in all different parts of the world. And he was on here, I guess a few months ago it was, and that was a really epic episode. And it's great to have you back.
So happy to be back.
And you're in Boulder today, Boulder, Colorado. Yeah?
I am in Boulder. So for those that love Boulder and aren't familiar with Boulder, here's a burst of Boulder energy. It's amazing. I love this place.
And how long are you there for?
I'm here till the 27th.
Oh, nice.
I know it's so great. So I'm visiting friends and not just people friends, but mountain friends and boulder friends, like actual boulders, like big rock
Yeah, yeah,
tree friends.
yeah.
Yeah, it's so so wonderful. Paste and share. Share now. All right. Things are shared. Things are shared. Hello.
Things are being shared.
Yeah.
So, so I did this. I was encouraged by someone to share a poll on Facebook. Has this option to share a poll.
Oh,
So the poll was kind of like POLL, not like a poll that's
yes, yes, yeah.
like a P.
Not like a
Yeah.
pole that you get on the
So
phone if it's frozen.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hi there.
So I got this inspiration to share a poll. Someone said, "Hey, we should share a poll and see what people are interested in and what subjects they want
Yes.
to hear." So I made this poll on Facebook and I put all these different options. And the number one option that people have chosen thus far is, and I don't usually use this term, so it's funny that I kind of put it out there. Number one was spiritual enlightenment.
Oh my goodness
People want to know about
gracious.
spiritual enlightenment.
People wanna love. People wanna be more available to showing up as a presence of yumminess in their worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's an interesting. So anyway, we can that's a
I'm so
theme that we can
excited. Yes, such a juicy
play with
theme. And it's so fun
in
being in
horizons.
Boulder because no matter what coffee shop I'm in, no matter what restaurant or whatever, there's always a conversation on this. Spiritual enlightenment. A lot of it may include, DMT and other substances, but it's spiritual enlightenment and so it's so great that my favorite thing is demystifying all kinds of wonderful assumptions around enlightenment and awareness and all that fun stuff. So I'm glad we get to have this conversation, my brother, myself.
It's interesting. I never asked you about this. I don't think
Hmm.
directly, but your um, name on Instagram,
Uh-huh.
Illusion Slice,
Illusion
right? Illusion Slice.
slicer. That's right. Yes, yes, yes. So funny. How are you gonna slice something that's not even here? But hey.
But how did that come into being? Because I'm curious, like how that name came into being, or what was the impetus
Yeah.
for that?
It was many, many years ago, like around the MySpace days. So like in
Uh-huh.
2003, 2004. And I had this like mohawk haircut. And
Uh-huh.
and so, someone once asked me at a club, they're like, what, like that's so fun. What do you call that? And I was like, I call it the illusion slicer. And so then this particular group of friends started calling me Illusion Slicer, and I was with them when I was making my Instagram account, and so it just kind of stayed Illusion Slicer on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
But you really do. Yeah.
yeah, and so it wasn't just something that I said, but something that I just love. I love when someone brings something that they think is really real, they think is really solid, such as an ego construct, such as a thought form, or some kind of conditioning, or some kind of programming, or some kind of and just you know slicing is a little strong, but we just look at it closely to discover that it's not as solid as you thought it was. In fact, and you look really closely, it's not even present.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there's like this paradox of people are looking for something that's some idea, something that's solid, or some kind of belief
Uh-huh.
of the solid thing that they can
Uh-huh.
cling to or hang on to, and it's actually the kind of the explosion of that, or the revealing. It's like we're looking for who we really are, right?
Yeah.
And we're looking for it in an object or an idea or a belief, or a belief that's better than the previous belief, or an
Yeah.
idea that's better than the previous idea. And you, in your very gentle, beautiful, laughing way, sort of slice all of that.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Yeah, and I kind of made the joke that, how interesting to slice something that isn't even here. And that's what we
Yeah.
get to discover together, is that, this thing that you thought was so real and so solid and so such an obstruction to peace, an obstruction
Mm.
to your well-being. When we take a moment and have the willingness to honestly look and see and discover, we may notice that it's not here at all.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been wondering, even the word spiritual,
Uh-huh.
it,
What a
it has
fun word,
there's this,
spiritual.
yeah, there's this point where it doesn't hold anymore.
Yeah.
It's creating another sense of separation, another sense of duality.
It's certainly that potential. Yeah, spiritual and not spiritual. My clothes are spiritual. Their clothes ain't spiritual. My thoughts are spiritual. Their thoughts are not spiritual. My world is spiritual. So interesting. There's a moment, if you're willing to just be honest with the maturity that can reveal itself in some of the practices one may do, living a spiritual life, that just opens up to discovering that, gosh, how can there be anything but, this inseparable uh, spiritual, which when I think of spiritual, I just think of the substance, the dynamic substance of this moment, of what life is,
Mm.
the breath not bound to lungs of existence. Yeah.
Hmm. Molly says all the words feel flat these days.
All them
I
words.
I resonate with
I
that.
love it. It reminds me of the song from Madonna called Bedtime Stories. She came out with many years ago. Words are useless, especially sentences. They don't something something don't function anymore. Traveling, traveling. Um, it's all about the arms of unconscious. Let's the hook is let's get unconscious, baby. Let's get
Oh yeah, I remember
unconscious.
those.
Remember
Yeah,
that
yeah,
song,
yeah,
Bedtime Story?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's awesome. It's the embodiment that feels most alive. Excellent. Yeah, it's cool. There's all these different seasons of like what feels most alive. For some people watching, maybe the words feel most alive. Maybe the words are like these, uh, um, signposts, these symbols, these confirmations. It's like putting a language to something that they're experiencing that they haven't had a language for before. So it could be very empowering. And for others that have been engaged in spiritual community and practice for so long, it's like, oh, don't talk to me about awareness. Don't talk to me about enlightenment. Don't talk to me about rest. Don't talk to me about chakras. Don't talk about any of that stuff. And it can just seem, it's like more of the embodiment, the feeling tone, the finally, it's like everything is equally perfect confirmation of the alive freedom that one is. Words, no words, embodiment, no embodiment, feelings, no feelings. Um, you just get really familiar and discover that what is, and it's who you are, and it's stable, and it's uninterrupted, and celebrates itself as all of existence.
That was beautiful. Um, it makes me not want to talk the rest of the
Oh,
episode.
sorry. Right. Look, I was having some nut thins. I was having some nut thins.
No, no, really. There's like this opening in conscious, and it's like the words are really so minimal. So it's like an important point to say. I generally like invite people if I'm doing like a satsang or doing
Yes.
some kind of something pointing to presence to to feel beyond the words. Right? There's a
Yes.
presence here that's beyond the
Yes.
words. So the
Yes.
words are kind of like poetry.
Yes.
Yeah, and they're beautiful in the poetic sense.
Yes, yes, such poetry, like the light shimmering on the water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you feel like there's any objective reality? This is a question I've been asking people. I have an answer, but do you feel like there's any objective reality? Like this is the reality and everyone agrees that this is the reality.
An objective reality. I mean, in the romantic sense, it's wonderful to be in the space of there's others present and that we're agreeing
Yeah.
on something, and that we're not just agreeing on
Hmm.
something, but we're discovering something together, and we're not just discovering something together, but we are uh, you know meeting that discovery with possibility for our species, and for where we can go in terms of innovation and technologies, and abundance for the whole planet, and care for beings big and small, all the creatures, all the so I so love that. And I also noticed that in the nakedness of this moment, I know such thing as another being, as an other perception, as a other mind. It's all just lovely facets of this awake moment that's forever awake to itself.
Mm.
Yeah.
So it's like it's all one essence. It's all this vast empty presence.
Hi.
I mean, these are words, but it's
Yeah.
pointing at something.
Yeah. Hi. Presence. Hi. This
Yeah.
that I am. Hi, this that is.
Hmm.
Hi, this that is
Hmm.
the utmost perfect expression of white hot absolute love itself. Yeah.
Hmm. So that's the absolute truth, right? And then it feels like what we perceive, whatever we perceive, is like relative truth. What we perceive within that, our beliefs, our stories, our perceptions,
Mm.
our ideas, our. But then I think even also what feels solid, what looks like a, you know, objective reality. Well, that's a tree. That's a cloud. That's a,
Uh-huh.
you know, yeah.
Yeah, and it's so interesting to notice where that exists. You know, where does that objective reality exist? What holds it together? What
Mm-hmm.
and then also to play with relaxing that, and not have to know that that's a tree, and that's a grass, and that's a shoe, and that's a shoelace, and that's a
Mm.
tying of the shoe, and it's really fun, feeling into that and discovering that you could live an everyday normal life as total inseparability, where absolute and relative just kind of uh, lose their
Different.
hold. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so exciting.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
Well, there's the perception. There's the
Uh-huh.
perception of distance. There's the perception
Yes.
of you're there and I'm here. You're a physical structure. I'm a physical structure. We're thousands of miles
Hi.
apart.
I love that perception.
Yeah, and it's fascinating in
Uh-huh.
relationships because people want to feel close. You know,
Yeah.
there's like, well, you're there and I'm here and I want to feel closer to you.
Yeah.
How do we get closer? How do we feel closer? So we're trying all these ways to get closer, to feel closer, but it's very rare to actually question, are we actually even apart to begin with,
Yes,
right?
it is rare
Who's
to
questioning
question
that?
that. Yes. Who's questioning that? And maybe those watching, maybe we can question right now. Yeah. So interesting. When there's a huge emphasis on I'm this separate someone and they're this separate someone, and I'm the separate someone with my own energy and with my own expression of auric layers and chakras and connection points, and there's someone separate with their all of their stuff, and we maybe line up here but don't line up here, and I want someone to connect with each of my chakras. I mean, so many different things that we can create, and that we could chew on and get lost in, and the possibility, as you're saying, to for a moment, just for a moment, not have to be so fully convinced in the assumption that you're someone separate, or that, and that
Mm-hmm.
they're someone separate, and that you're someone separate
Mm-hmm.
with all this stuff and all these things that you're working through, and there's someone separate with all this stuff and things that they're working through. All of that's fun, all of that's wonderful, all of that's exciting. And when it comes to connection and peace and well-being and love, it's just um, none of that needs to be resolved. In other words, you can go straight to connection, straight to love, straight to by opening, not by living like a fist, which is when we live like a fist, we're living in our minds, we're living in our stories, we're trying to reduce everything to a pocket of information, a pocket of make believe, a pocket of assumption, a pocket of, but to just open that, open, open, open. It's like Christmas, like every day is Christmas. If you got points of view present, if you got thoughts, if you got these belief systems, you got a bunch of presents that you can open. And the way you open these presents is by just allowing them to be as they are and noticing the openness of your nature. And in that, it's like full on intimacy with all of life. Doesn't matter who,
Mm.
doesn't matter where, and it's pretty sweet.
So the intimacy and the openness is actually within being present with the belief, not trying to get rid of it, not trying to resist it,
Oh
not trying to
yes.
change it, not trying.
I mean, can we have some hearts and thumbs up or some wow faces, and all the times you try to change a belief and get rid of a belief and send it to some psychic concentration camp or some kind of prison or some kind of, it's like, hello, we've been there, we've done that. Yay, look at all them hearts. Yeah, it's how cool to recognize the option that you don't have to change the belief. You don't have to, um, not to say that that doesn't have its place in some stage of development, we can say, for fun. But
Yeah,
to allow the weather to be the weather, the sky gets to discover its true nature as sky presence, as as open presence that is benevolence itself, that allows the mind to be the mind, allows sensations to be sensations, allows body to be body, allows world to be world. And in that allowing, there's nothing but immediate love and reverence and compassion.
it's like this. If we would even use the term spiritual, it's like a
Uh-huh.
spirituality that embraces everything, embraces anything you can absolutely imagine, see,
Yes.
think, feel, touch,
Yes.
notice, not imagine.
Yes, yes. And what's cool is that you don't have to learn how to embrace it. You don't have to get good at embracing it. In just relaxing, you start discovering that that is your nature. You are the embrace of existence itself. Yeah. Yeah, you do it really well. You already do it
So
well.
you're doing so good. So welcome to Nathan, Annie, Genevieve, Lola, Reverend Donna, Jenny, Merritt, and John has a question, I think. Let's see what this says. I feel like I've been seeking the solution to fix the way things are in the world. I recently realized it makes more sense to not fix the world, but to fix myself
Hmm.
to the point that I can be at peace unconditionally while facing the challenges of the world. To be a point at peace in the world.
Hmm. Powerful. Powerful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations, John. That's a really powerful discovery. Yeah. How
Yeah. Yeah. It's like this sense of it's so easy to look out. Like it's like these eyes look out,
mm,
and we want to see all these different
mm-hmm.
issues and
Mm-hmm.
problems and people are doing things wrong. It's the media is really big on this too. They love to find this person that's like everyone puts their anger and their
Yeah.
their disgust toward this different
Yes.
person.
Yes.
Um, and these are like parts of ourself that we just haven't come to embrace and integrate and be at peace with.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And how cool
Yeah.
in the willingness, as John was saying, to really relax in himself and it's and relax in the homeness of oneself and the peace of oneself. The way we look out into the
Mhm.
world is very different. And what I noticed from that space is that you're so available for solutions and innovations, for it's
Mm.
there's a freshness, um, and there's a and and seeing something with the eyes of your heart, it cannot help but to penetrate and to invite the consciousness present everywhere to rise to the occasion.
Yeah,
Hmm.
there's this idea that if you're at peace with what is, which is probably important to address in this exact moment,
Yes, Nathan.
there's this idea that if you're at peace with what is, then you're just you're not showing up as a good citizen, or you're allowing like horrible people to do horrible things, or
Yeah.
you're allowing people to walk over you, or you're allowing yourself to be like a doormat to people. Why don't you speak to that? Is that true? Is that what
Well,
happens?
what's exciting is for people to discover that for themselves. It's like, are you
Mm-hmm.
going to be a doormat? Are you going to just stand in the way of that bus coming? Are you- But
Mm-hmm.
but one thing that's so interesting is that in really getting familiar with who you are as peace, who you are uh, as not just peace here, but peace. Getting familiar with yourself as peace doesn't mean just getting familiar with yourself as peace here. It's getting familiar with yourself as peace of existence, as peace everywhere, as peace itself. And you're available. You're available. Your mind is available. Your body's available. You're available for the intelligence that you are to live itself through you in authentic ways, to live itself through you, whether it be through art, whether it be through technology, whether it be through uh, new ways of languaging certain things that people
Mm-hmm.
can really gravitate towards, that can then shift laws or whatnot. And that's so powerful, because when we try, as Einstein says, hey boo, when we try to when we try to solve the problem with the same mind that created the problem, we're just constantly caught up in this insane, game of duck duck goose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think one thing that's interesting too is this thing about being like a doormat, or being letting people walk on you, step over you. Um, there's what I will say about that is,
Hmm.
in addition to what you said, which I fully resonate with, is the the sense of having to like protect my story, or having to like defend my
Yeah,
story of who I am or who people think I am. It's just not so important,
yeah,
when you realize that it's not really who you are.
yeah. It's so funny. So much energy is freed up, because there's so
Mm-hmm.
much energy in trying to protect who you are and trying to defend who you are, so much energy in trying to defend your beliefs, trying to defend your sacred beliefs, trying to defend, but in opening and relaxing and being where you are, which is being who you are, it frees all that energy up. And that's why my favorite word in the intersection of infinity and breath is availability, being available. That's the gift of awakening. That's the gift of enlightenment, as a human being, available, not as a savior to the world, or not just a savior to the world, or not just, but available in their moment, available for their communities, available for the animals, available to their gifts and talents, available to their unique love affair with the dance of life. And it's so exciting.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me think of abundance.
Oh,
People think of
yes.
abundance, right? People
Hmm.
think of abundance as I have lots of money in my bank account, or I have lots of material things, or I have lots of something, some
Yeah.
kind of something
Lots
that I
of
have a
bank
lot of.
accounts and my money.
But
Totally. Uh-huh.
yeah, but like what I hear you putting as kind of like the deepest level of abundance,
Mm.
which is I have lots of space in this moment, right?
Yeah.
Because people will. there's people that have a lot of money. I don't have. Oh, I'm so busy. I'm thinking, like this kind of, So there's no abundance that you can feel.
Yeah.
So what I hear you talking about is like, yeah, it's like the deepest abundance of I'm just like totally my presence is totally free right now, totally open, available. There's so much space here for whatever
Yeah.
wants to arrive.
And how exciting in terms of manifestation. It's like, oh wow, look, the whole universe is here. It's like, yay, you've manifested all of existence. You've manifested every
Mm-hmm.
atom in every realm. You
Yeah,
have all the Lego blocks available.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to get into like some like they may be like questions I don't normally ask you, but I'm working on like putting this like online course
Uh-huh. Cool. I love an
together,
online
and I'm trying
course.
to figure out the wording and terminology for it.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, do you feel like everything is our imagination? Like everything that we experience is our imagination?
Well, is it? One thing that's so sweet that I notice with, every being everywhere, doesn't matter the realm, doesn't matter is that here we are and we have the capacity to describe the moment and describe the moment. Okay, I'm sitting here, I'm a man on planet Earth, third planet from the sun, Milky Way galaxy, blah blah blah. Descriptions, sensory perception, all of that is in the realm of thought, the realm of imagination and description and wondrous. And then equal to that, there's this open, aware power that knows, that sees whatever thoughts here, that can be aware. Not that they're separate, not at all separate,
Mm-hmm.
but it's so interesting that it's possible to live in the joy of imagination, and it's possible to live here as the unimaginable nakedness of existence, and you get to feel
Mm-hmm.
into which you enjoy. The fascinating thing with imagination is that it comes and goes at its inception. Imagination doesn't last. You have, you imagine something, and it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. But this aware presence is immediate, solid, stable. It's the sky-like presence that allows the clouds of imagination to do its thing. God bless both of them in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, thank you so very much. God bless you in Jesus' name, and Buddha's name, and Mother Teresa's name, and all the wonderful names. I love that, John Paul. Thank you. Jesus.
You've sung in a lot of churches over the
Yes,
years.
I have. Yes, I have. I love me churches. I love me a choir. I love me a morning service. I love me people coming together to praise and to celebrate. So beautiful.
Mm. So I've been looking at this from virtual reality. I've
Okay,
been like
fun. I love virtual reality. Yes.
yeah, virtual reality, right?
Yes.
So virtual reality is becoming more and more seemingly real. Like it's like
Yes.
whatever this is right now, it's going to become more and more to look like this,
Yes.
to the
Technology
point where it's going
catching
to
up to what's real, to what is.
right to the point where it's going to be inseparable.
Okay.
Right, like they're going to look. You won't be able to tell the difference. You'll be like, "Oh, looks exactly like." What's the difference between
Yes.
these two things?
Yes.
So then there's this theory. Elon Musk
Uh-huh.
is one of the main people I've heard talked about this theory that this is a
A
simulation, that we're
simulation.
actually in a
Hi,
simulation,
simulation.
and these are all different simulations that have been
Yes.
created in the future, thousands of years in the future, however long,
Yes.
and we're actually in a simulation that's been created by someone else, and this is not the base reality,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Now, I resonate with a lot of that,
Uh-huh.
but where I see it differently
Uh-huh.
is I do feel this is a virtual reality,
Uh-huh.
but I feel like every reality is a virtual reality. Like there is no absolute reality except for the reality that you're pointing at, which is beyond every perception of reality.
Yeah. Well, that's what I find so valuable in getting familiar with, especially as we move into this era of all of these different options of realities. It's like when I hear the word realities from that perspective, it's like realities of points of view, realities of description,
Yeah.
realities
Yeah.
of sensory perception. and
Mm.
and 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 what's interesting, and what our work is about, and what our lives are about, and what we invite people to notice, is a reality that isn't limited or bound to circumstance, that isn't limited or bound
Right.
to sensory perception, to the changing of things, to the dance
Mm-hmm.
of 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 of, of uh, of whatever's appearing in the moment, which comes and goes. But
Mm-hmm.
there is a stable, um, totally open, relaxed presence, intelligence, aliveness that everyone has the capacity to notice and get familiar with. And I find that even more and more valuable as we move into times of multiple things, because it's like, what's real? What isn't real? Is this my husband, or is this the virtual reality person, or is this my this, or is that my this,
or AI. It's an AI
or is this my
husband.
AI husband, or is this and it's like, is this love? Is this really love? Do they love me? Da-da-da-da-da. And so, how powerful to discover that love is synonymous with this um, reality that isn't in the realm of changing or coming and going, or trends, or technologies, or or anything that can appear. In fact, it's the space, it's the openness that is the presence for all of this to exalt its existence. Because that's the fun thing. It doesn't matter what the appearance is. Each of them equally exalt freedom. Each of them equally say and announce the presence of this that is stable and here, this that is, which is
Mm.
exciting. Mm-hmm.
And it feels like it really liberates this realization that you're putting at. It really liberates one to maybe for like the first time ever, or at least like really fully and freely to really play
To really
in this world,
play,
like it is a video game.
to really,
Like you're a character in a video game.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's fun. It does that. It's like it frees things up, like you're a character in a video game. It has that element, and it also brings things to a practical, responsible focus of there's such an effortless care for my baby. There's such an effortless care for the planet. There's such an effortless care for the environment. There's such an effortless care for life. So it's video game, fun and joy, and there is a mature, grounded. Uh, I'm here for you. Yeah.
Yeah, because it seems like it's because the video game, but the video game is all you. So it's like you. That's why I think love becomes a really interesting word.
Uh
It's like,
huh.
well, how would you not, if everything's you, how could you not love
How
yourself?
can you
If it's just
not love
when you really
yourself?
have mystical awareness, it's like it's just you everywhere you look, everything you
Yes.
see, experience.
Yes. Yeah. And as I like to say, life happens in your heart. So, when I
Mm,
meet people, who am I meeting? I'm meeting myself, yes, and I'm meeting beloveds that are appearing in my heart. It's like, there's no way that connection cannot exist. And as I like to say, and that Rumi says, it's so connected that the word makes no sense. Um, and total intimacy. So it doesn't matter who I meet. It's just like, oh my goodness, this is my beloved appearing right here in my heart. Yeah.
hmm I caught like just a little bit of a glimpse of something yesterday, Instagram story.
Uh-huh.
Someone like knew you from Facebook or Instagram or something.
That was so
Came up with
funny.
that.
Yes, this beloved, her name was Maria Teresa, and we're Facebook friends. And she's not just Facebook friends with me, but she's Facebook friends with my friend Christy. And Christy
Okay.
and my friend Christy, who has, Divine Beauty artist, and my friend Ayla, who just moved back from Sedona to Boulder. We were sitting at a cafe, and we saw her come out of the bathroom, and both of us looked at each other. We're like, oh, she looks familiar. And Chrissy's like, yes, I think I'm her Facebook friend. And then I was like, I looked and I was like, she's my Facebook friend too. And then Ayla's laughing and how funny that, and Christy is like, no, how can we, we be Facebook friends and just ignore each other in real life, and so we were just laughing. We're like, let's go say hello, let's go say hello, or maybe let's send her a message right here and see if she watches. We were having a lot of fun with it. Anyway, my friend Ayla filmed Christy and I walking over to her and just asking her if she was this person. And when she said yes, we were like, "Oh my God, hello! So good to meet you in this virtual reality."
Hmm. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun
Yeah.
to
So if
see
I
that.
have anyone that's a Facebook friend of mine that sees me anywhere, please come up and give me a hug. Please come up and say hello if I don't do it first.
So what do you what are you doing these days? I mean, I know you're with Menudo. You're doing the Menudo
Is
tour.
that
You're going
hilarious?
to South America. We gotta get into that a little bit,
Oh my
and
God,
then
so funny.
so tell us about that, and then tell us what's happening now.
Yay. Well, I just did a tour through South America and Central America with my band Menudo when I was as a teenager, and we have the most loyal fan base. We're still doing reunion concerts. While I was in Peru, I got to do a satsang with some of the fans, and that was really, really beautiful to be able to, it's like, it's one thing that's so cool is that, people uh, have a sense of where you're coming from, and so there's a lot of words like peaceful and loving and presence um, and so I got to spend time with them in an intimate way where we were able to explore and see what this is and how available it is to them in their everyday lives. So it was really beautiful having a satsang with a fan base in Peru. And then after this whole Menudo tour, which is just hysterical and uh, a whole other world. Hello, Gabriela Torres. um, uh, it was so cool to then come back to South Florida and then to meet with my band Here to Hear. We did some rehearsals, and then we went to perform at Unity Village. Unity Village is in Kansas City, Missouri, actually close to Lee's Summit. It's its own municipality. It's like 1,100 something acres of beautiful, lush, rolling hills and amazing trees and incredible Mediterranean-like structures. And there's a tower and there's chapels and there's just incredible halls um, and it was their 2018 World Day of Prayer. So we got to be the soundtrack for the music. The theme was "I am a healing presence." And so we did a concert experience that we called Being the Presence. And what I loved about their theme is that it wasn't about healing, it wasn't about fixing, it was about confirming and telling the truth that who you are is a healing presence, that who you are is a presence of benefit, a presence of love, a presence of goodness. And that was so sweet to have, because all of our songs in their own way confirm that and celebrate that. So it's just really sweet for that music to be received in that way. Yeah.
I love what you're doing with like. I mean, it's funny, but what you're doing with Menudo is also really, really beautiful.
It
You know, I
is,
think
yes.
Ali and I were commenting like I made this joke about. It's not really a joke. It's kind of serious that there could be this like awakening of like thousands of Latin American women in their 40s. You know.
Thousands of Latin mamas.
Yeah.
One
So
thing that
it's
is,
really cool to see like those worlds come together and cross each other,
isn't
and what
it?
comes from that.
Isn't
You
it
know.
fascinating?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so much fun. And then one thing that's so much fun, we talk about satsang and whatnot. And my experience is that life is satsang. The moment I find myself is satsang.
Yeah.
And how cool that it
Yeah.
doesn't have to have words of satsang, it doesn't have to have music of satsang, it doesn't have to have culture of satsang, but it's just the alive satsang, the alive seeing, the alive clarity of this moment being with itself, and that reveals itself as love and as hugs and as kisses and as looking into each other's eyes and as laughter and as lightheartedness. So yeah, it's really really cool, really cool.
Agatha says, randomly seeing this,
Oh,
can't believe Ash. I love Ash.
I,
So good seeing you both. You go both guys together.
hello,
Thank you, Agatha.
Agatha. I send you such a big hug. Yay! I'm having a moment of us on top of one of the, I think it's called the airport vortex in Sedona. And yeah, just isn't it cool? We get to do our things and always be in each other's hearts. So thank you. I love you too.
And I know her from Bali. We spent a lot of time together in
Oh,
Bali
I love
there. So
that. That is so cool.
a small global
It
tribe
is, it is, it is.
together.
Qué rico.
I find like with you have people like, so you go to the Menudo and you do a
Uh-huh.
satsang there. And there's probably like a lot of open-hearted energy
Yes.
that's there in the space,
Yes.
and probably people are very open and receptive to
Yes.
whatever you want to share,
Yes.
right?
Uh-huh.
But they don't have a lot of maybe they haven't studied a lot of intellectual study
Right.
of spiritual concepts
Right.
or
Uh-huh.
enlightenment
Uh-huh.
concepts. Where I find when you when you can talk with people about the stuff that have a lot of intellectual concepts,
Uh-huh.
it can be like a barrier, actually, not a
It
help. And
could.
I think
It
people
most
don't always
certainly
realize
could.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Well, gosh, we, I love how there's a song that Bjork sings where one of the lyric is, I try to organize freedom. How Scandinavian of me. So it's like I try to organize freedom. How Western of me. I try to organize freedom. How
Yeah.
sophisticated of me. And it's like we latch on to something. So, oh yeah, it's like that, and that's what I need to do. And oh, this person did it this way, and this person had to go through this and do that. So I need to do that too. And this is where I'm at. And we're always diagnosing our consciousness. Oh, right now I'm at this point in my consciousness and I want to go here. And I've had a glimpse of that, but then it
Yeah.
falls away. And we don't notice that all we're doing is describing thought forms that are appearing within the
Mm.
totality of peace itself. We are this peaceful, ever-present awareness watching these movements, this dance of light and shadow. And so it's so
Yeah.
exciting to have the willingness to not be so smart and to relax and open a bit, to not know. Give yourself the gift of not having to know anything. Be totally naked for a moment and see what's here.
Yeah. There's this. It's like this. It's like when your mind is, the less ideas you have, the less concepts you
Mm,
have, then you're more available, right? You're more available to realize yourself.
yeah.
So but then there's this other thing where people don't know what happened. So there's some place where the intellect comes in and wants to study what happened.
Yes, yes,
So it's interesting how it works. So
yes,
it seems like
yes.
it has its
It
place,
does.
but
It
it's
certainly
not.
has
You
its
can't put the
place.
other one first.
Yes, it
Yeah,
so certainly has its place. I know in my experience it was like that. It was like, what happened?
I,
What
I
happened?
thought of your
What
experience. Yeah,
happened?
yeah,
I need to explore this. I need to discover. I need to
yeah,
uh
yeah,
I need to really feel out, I think um yeah, I really put things to the test in the sense of, okay, I'm hearing this suggestion or reading this in this book or in this um tr school of thought, but let me put it to the test. And I could all and so I was really happy that I could always still feel this openness and this presence and just discern whether things lined up or not. And nothing lined up until I was just allowed myself to be the presence.
mm. Let's talk about
Oh,
ayahuasca
hi
and
ayahuasca. Hi ayahuasca.
DMT
Hey DMT,
and the
what's
the toad
up?
juice,
Oh my goodness, the
all these
toe
things,
juice.
the cactus
The
stuff,
toe jam.
all these things they're becoming more and more, in the conversation. A lot of
Yes,
people are
medicine
definitely,
music, the medicine
a lot of people are
culture.
having openings.
Yeah, so wonderful. It's,
Um,
uh-huh.
and I saw someone saw someone on social media the other day saying, essentially paraphrasing, but essentially like, you can't know yourself unless you take this toad medicine.
Oh, how sweet.
And, and so I'm curious, like, what your take is on this. That's becoming more popular. It was an opening for
Uh-huh,
you,
uh-huh.
but is there, just to clarify for people, is there a way to know yourself and realize yourself without partaking in these
Oh
medicines?
my gosh, absolutely. Throughout history, oh my goodness, there's, so many footprints that so clearly have had full recognition of who one is and what is here without partaking in these substances. Not to say that those substances aren't. One thing that's so cool is that, everyone's path is so unique and so perfectly perfect for that poetic appearance of life,
Mm-hmm.
and no one can know what's best for another person. No one can know
Mm-hmm.
what's best for someone's journey, or no one can know what's best for themselves. It's there's a bigger dance of intelligence happening here that we can if we're lucky, relax and trust, trust the way it's unraveling. But yes, for those that aren't called to do ayahuasca, that don't feel a calling to do any of these medicines, um, you don't have to. You don't have to do. Those that aren't called to go to India, you don't have to. Those that aren't called to meditate, you don't have to. Those that aren't called, and not to say that you won't tomorrow, not to say that you won't in the next second be called, but for those that are called right now, you don't have to do anything. You have all the gear present. All the gear you already have, it's already present within you. If you have points of view and awareness, you got all the stuff you need to start exploring and playing with the emphasis of your perception. Because that's all spirituality is the shift of an emphasis from the story of the moment to the untellable reality of the moment. And however it
Mm.
appears, it's super exciting.
Yeah, one of the ways I like to say it simply is like, if it's dependent upon anything,
Okay.
then if it's dependent upon anything, then it's not what we're talking about.
Okay.
That's how you can know it's not what we're talking about. Right?
So give some
And that's the
examples
great
of
thing.
that. So give some examples of what it can be dependent on.
Me or you. That's the first one.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
Hallelujah.
yeah, then you have all these substances. It can depend upon
Yes.
ayahuasca or
Yes.
toad medicine or all these different
Yes.
things. A book,
Yes.
a guru,
Yes.
a particular
A
retreat,
seventh dimension,
and
a
all. Of
seventh
course,
density
we do a
being.
lot of this stuff. So yeah, we do a lot of these things. So it's not like these things aren't valuable, and that because people make this stuff kind of black or white. It's not like
Yes.
it's like these are bad, but
Yes.
they're just not what we're talking about.
Yes. Yes. It's
Yeah.
it's 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 not dependent on anything, which is good.
Or a location. I have to go to this sacred site. If I don't go
Yes.
to the sacred site,
Yes.
you tell. So you tell the story a lot, but it's such a good story. Tell the story because it just
My
came up.
Machu Picchu
The
moment.
Machu Picchu story.
Machu Picchu moment. Well, after my father passed away, I was just stewing in these questions, what is real? What is life? What is death? What's valuable? What's valuable to human life? What's important for human life? Um, and so, these things kept me up at night. And I was in Menudo. We went to Machu Picchu to film a video. And the video was for a song called Welcome to the New World, which was so fun. Bienvenidos al Nuevo Mundo. And as I stepped off of the helicopter, at this time, they allowed helicopters to land in certain places. As I stepped off the helicopter, even with all the and everything that I was seeing, all the ruins and the llamas and the tourists and the lights for the video production moment, and um, uh, even as all that happened, I had a moment where um, all that can be described took a back seat, and what remained was just this open, bright, aware love, this awake clarity, and I could see that I could still see everything, and everything was here, but it was just obvious to me that nothing had an independent nature. That it was obvious that nothing existed as an island. That everything was a seamless part of the whole, and that left me, it was like a gong in terms of my nervous system and my mind and my persona and my constitution. It was this gong of delicious nothingness. In fact, when my manager, I was crying, and the makeup artist trying to put makeup on me, and we're dancing and we're singing, and I'm crying, and manager's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm just like, "Unshakable vastness." I think that's all I could utter.
Mm.
Unshakable vastness. And he was like, "What?" Because I noticed that no matter how loud I sung, it wasn't the opposite of silence. It celebrated silence. There was a silence that was so present that sound wasn't the opposite. Sound was the announcement of the silent, listening, aware presence. No matter how much I danced, no matter how much I did my Latin boy shaking or my moving or my twerking or whatever the dance was, it wasn't the opposite of stillness. It was appearing in this uninterrupted stillness of being, this uninterrupted stillness of awareness. So yes, that was a gong, and so like a gong, it was this beautiful tone. But after a couple of months, wore off, and I was left in a place of what happened? What was that? I need to explore that. I need to go back to that place. I was like, was it the tea? Was it, definitely was Machu Picchu. Definitely was, maybe it happened at a place where a shaman was struck by lightning. And I mean, my mind can make up anything. It's amazing how
Hmm.
creative we all
Yeah.
are. And so I went back. It, you know, Years later, that happened when I was 16. I went back as a 20-year-old, and I moved to, that question, what was it? Was it there? I need it again. I want that experience. I want that to stay. I want it to be lasting. I need to go back to Machu Picchu. So I go back. I do the Inca Trail. I even exaggerated. Instead of doing the train or the helicopter, I was like, I'm gonna walk it, and um, that was an experience in itself. But I go back to the spot and I stand about 5 feet away from it, and I was like in my own little music video, my own little movie. It's funny how mind does things. That was super unplanned, spontaneous, organic, and here I am choreographing how I'm gonna stand in that spot again. And so I did. I took 5 steps. I stood in the spot, and I think I even went, convinced that I was gonna, that I was gonna be taken back to this space, um, and nothing happened. And I even walked backwards, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do well, this big old long journey. I did this walk. I got like one granola bar left. So, so I walk back and nothing happened. I go back, I do it again, nothing happened, and I just kind of fell on the floor, and just like, it was just like nothing's happening, nothing happened, nothing happened, and as I'm saying nothing happened, it it hit me in the sense of, oh my gosh, I'm trying to recreate this thing. I'm trying to, and what was the thing that I loved about this was that nothing happened. And yet here I am saying nothing happened, and nothing happened. And then there was just this laughter. So there was this opening of what I loved about it was that nothing was happening. And then in that saying of it, there was a noticing that still nothing's happening. But I did notice trying to recreate it. And I tried to recreate it with ayahuasca too, a couple months later, that I find myself in Iquitos with these shamans, this group called the Shuar, and I did the ayahuasca and had profound visuals, and seeing everything as Tron, everything energy, everything interconnected, everything coming and going. Um, looking at my hands, watching them age and decay and fall off and rot and turn to ashes, and then new hands appeared, and then hands from every culture, every race, every age, every size, just doing the same thing, seeing that, seeing the earth, take a deep breath as everything being born, and exhaling as everything dying, souls being born, souls dying, just beautiful perceptual poetry. And I had the thought, I need to recreate this. This is some amazing stuff. Can I bottle this? Can I take this home? This people need to have. How do I re-experience this? It's like, what do I love about this moment? The peace, the harmony, the ease, the spaciousness, the vastness, the knowingness of myself as love itself. I need to recreate this. And as I thought, how do I recreate this, which still identified as someone having an experience, and someone having an experience that I want the experience to last for this someone that I was still identified with, in that moment, there was this question, this knowing, and it was, all right, this is cool, amazing spiritual experiences, amazing visuals, galactic, intergalactic, otherworldly energies of this and that. And what about this moment is the same when you're tying your shoe? What about this moment is the same when you're happy, when you're sad, when you're depressed, when you're in despair? What about this moment is the same when you're cooking, when you're baking, when you're walking, when you're having an orgasm, when you're writing a song, when you're performing, when you're... And it was just this anchoring of, oh my gosh, this remains untouched, even with the incredible display that ayahuasca can give, even with the incredible display that life can give. This that I am is this open, aware, intelligent presence, unchanging, unborn, and not in the realm of things that come and go, naturally here, just like this moment. And so that was a sweet gift. And I think that's what gets overlooked with a lot. It gets, there's a glimpse of it for people that do ayahuasca and a lot of substances, but there's a lot of emphasis just on everyday life. There's still the emphasis on the story, on cause and effect. The emphasis is still on me and my awakening, me and my spiritual experiences, me and my whatever. And the true gift could be the willingness to notice what remains, and what's here, and what's clear, what's stable.
That's a beautiful story, beautifully
Mm.
stated, and such an essential truth. And I'm so glad that you're sharing that.
Well, I'm
That
so glad
here,
that we get to
you
have
brought
this
up
talk.
cause and effect.
Yeah, cause and
Yeah,
effect.
yeah, yeah.
How fun. What a wonderful display. Yeah, so there's huge allegiance to cause and effect. Huge allegiance to cause and effect having to do with well-being. Cause and effect having to do with peace. Cause and effect having to do with freedom. So, uh, let's say with ayahuasca, if I do this substance and it's going to give me this effect, um, if I show up this way in the world, it's going to get this effect. If I make these points, I'm going to show up this way in heaven, or I get to be a bodhisattva, or whatever it may be. And all of that still looking at cause and effect as having something to do with well-being. And it just doesn't have anything to do with well-being. In the sense of creating well-being. Well-being doesn't need to be created. Well-being doesn't need to be evoked, doesn't need to be manifested, doesn't need to be held together, Jimmy rigged, doesn't need to be charmed into existence. Um, it's what's naturally here when we have the courage and the willingness to not know, the courage and the willingness to open
Mm-hmm.
and relax our story, relax. We have the courage and willingness to shift our attention from our favorite Netflix show called Me and My Life, season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5. Maybe it's Hulu, but or maybe it's Gaia, maybe it's Cosmic Disclosure, whatever it may be in our minds. But the willingness, the courage to shift our emphasis from the movie of who we think we are, and just be here, just relax, just open, just not have to change anything about this moment for a second, just to allow mind to be as it is, allow body to be as it is, allow story to be as it is, allow the world to be as it is. We get familiar with, we turn up the volume of this that is, which is aware, shimmering, stainless deliciousness.
Thanks everybody for all these hearts that are rocking out.
Oh, hi,
If you have
hearts.
any, welcome to all the new folks coming in. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to share. Yeah, cause and effect. I'm just really interested
Uh-huh.
in these things that we take as absolute rock solid truth. And
Yeah.
I just, the more that I've gone into like what's true and what's real, I
Uh-huh.
find that none of them are really what's real and what's true, right? So this sense of we accept all these things as cause and
Yeah.
effect, like, you know, science, cause and effects, and linear time, and the construction of cause and effect
Mm-hmm.
of linear time.
Mm-hmm.
But they're just true from a relative point of reality, right?
Yeah.
Like you could look at it a totally different way and have a different sense of what's the effect or what's the cause, or, and ultimately it's like there's this other level of perception where there is, it transcends cause and effect. It's just now. There's no time for cause
Yeah.
or effect.
Yeah. It's wondrous. And then what's so beautiful is that I so honor and celebrate cause and effect and its
Mm-hmm.
practical application. You know, it's wondrous. What a wondrous power of mind. What a wondrous power of life.
Mm.
What a wondrous power of um, and closer than uh, anything that can be in the realm of loss or gain is again
Mm-hmm.
this moment that is itself, that is
Mm-hmm.
aware. Hello. Yeah, yeah.
It's like, the deeper you go into this truth, it's like there's just one essence, and it is on the level of things moving, it's moving everything. And on the level of, there's a level beyond that where nothing's even moving, right? But
Wondrous.
it's like
Uh-huh.
cause and effect. Like, am I moving my hand, or is my hand moving itself? It's like we can argue about this stuff for, like, you know,
Yes,
decades. But
yes.
there's this one essence that's moving everything, you know? It's just this amazing thing you open to, and that essence is myself.
That's
You
so
know, not myself, the
wondrous.
story of me, but I'm one with this essence.
Yeah, so
Yeah. So
wondrous.
it's,
Yeah. So at home. Uh-huh.
so yeah, at home. At home.
Yeah.
I like that.
And
That's a
what's
really good
great is
way of
that we
saying
can
it.
explore all these different facets of what appear and have the arguments and the discussions and attempt to understand and have moments of understanding and insight and we could also that's wondrous and we can notice, you know, do I need to know anything? Do I need to understand anything to
Mm,
be my loving
yeah.
presence right now, to be who I am, to be at
Yeah.
rest right now. And that's the invitation to discover that maybe not. Maybe there's nothing you need to know or
Yeah.
understand or realize or perceive or experience to be at home
Yeah.
as peace itself. Yeah. Maybe it's
I think that's the bottom line message,
mm,
right? I mean, to
yeah.
this question, what is spiritual enlightenment? Well, there's nothing you need to perceive or experience or
Mm,
do or know or understand to realize yourself.
yeah. Wondrous.
Yeah.
Wondrous. It's right here with you and in
Mm.
fact equal to whatever equal and inseparable from, you know, it's like I love how
Mm-hmm.
a friend of mine who started something called Balance to You, her name is Candace O'Denver. Um, one of her things that she says is freedom and immediate perception. Freedom and immediate perception. So with whatever is appearing, is inseparable from the freedom that you are, and is in fact confirmation of the freedom that you are. Confirmation of awareness,
Mm.
confirmation of light. Just as I like
Yeah.
to say, you know, every shadow says that there's light here. Every thought says there is light
Mm-hmm.
here. Every experience says there is
Mm-hmm.
light here. Or there's freedom here, there's awareness here. Everything says it.
Mm. So I have a question about like when someone is kind of outside the norm, or they don't quite, they're not,
Mm-hmm.
they're not, they're not the way everyone else or the majority of people are.
Uh-huh.
So let's say someone grows up and they've realized that they're gay, or they
Mm-hmm.
realize that they're an ethnic minority. These things have
Oh my God, I'm an
negative,
epic minority. Uh-huh. Yes.
right?
Sorry. Uh-huh.
These
Continue.
things have they have let's say challenges that people talk about, right? But
Yeah.
I wonder if there's another level where there may be an advantage
Oh my
there when it comes
gosh.
to what we're talking about.
Oh my gosh. I love
So
that
talk about that.
question.
I don't think people talk about this.
Well, I know in my experience, it was quite the advantage to notice that I was as straight as a
Mm-hmm.
circle. You know, it was quite it was quite the support, quite the gift, quite the fertilizer to my my curiosity and exploring and to diving deeper than and not settling with the truths that I was being told by authority figures or by government
Mm.
leaders or church leaders even. Um, so yeah, it was a huge gift to notice. Oh wow, I'm different. I show up as different. What I reach for is different. What I long for, what I love, uh, and I was really lucky to also know that that was innocent and that was of God, that was good. So I was really lucky to not take on these truths that it was bad, that it was wrong, that it was perverse, that it was an abomination of any kind of sort. Um, but in not being a cookie cutter and no one is cookie cutter, that's we
Right,
tend to
right,
think that there's cookie cutter and that there's this and there's that, but
right.
everyone shows up as a unique kaleidoscope mandala of infinity.
Well, just to jump in really quick, I think that's why I think that's what makes it easier, because exactly if it looks like you're a cookie cutter, it's hard to realize that you're actually not. Where if you're like, I'm
Exactly.
clearly not a cookie
I'm
cutter,
clearly
there's
not.
an
There's
advantage
an there was a
there.
total gift. Yeah. So I explored. I didn't settle for those truths. I could feel the truth within me and the love within me, and I knew to trust that and to explore that, and that was huge. It really allowed me to. I have a song that we sing with Ear to Hear, that the chorus is, I don't know shit, you don't know shit, they don't know shit, we don't know shit, he don't know shit, she don't know shit. Now ain't that some? And so it's like, I had a sense that nobody knew what they were talking about. I was very lucky. I don't care what adults were telling me, I don't care how much confidence they were telling it. There was a clarity within me that was like, okay, I'm not buying that, not taking on that. Nope, nope, nope. It's like, you really think you know what you're talking about? I don't think so. Nope,
Mm,
not buying it, not buying it. And I really think that this sense of being different and the sense of feeling that difference really supported my that gift of not blindly following what somebody was saying was God's word, or was true, or was real.
mm,
I love you too,
mm.
Nataza. Yeah.
So what do you have? So we talked about Menudo, and now you're in Boulder, and
Now I'm in Boulder. I'm doing a
what's
satsang
happening these
tonight in
days? What?
Boulder. I'm doing a
Oh,
satsang tonight in Boulder.
great.
So if anyone's gonna watch this now or later, today, what's the day? Friday, the 21st, which is International Day of Peace. Right, today's the International Day of Peace globally, which is lovely. Um, uh, Satsang tonight, 7:30 in Boulder. There's information on my Facebook page if you want to explore it. I'm calling it
I
Satsang.
highly recommend it.
Thank you very much. Myself.
Let me give you a little endorsement. Actually, people probably don't know this,
Have fun.
but I came. I don't know how many years ago this was, but we've known each other a really long time. And
Yes.
I moved to Miami, and when I first moved to Miami, you were doing satsang once a week, consistently every
Yes.
night. I don't know, Tuesday night or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a group of us would come every night, and I would drive like an hour. I would drive
Yay.
from Hollywood, Florida, to Miami, Florida. So we would drive there and drive back, and that was such a rich time in my life, because like
Yeah.
you were at that time. It was kind of like what we were talking about earlier. Like I was popped open,
Yes.
but there wasn't anybody to really like confirm it, like an actual human being. I was reading
Yes.
books and looking
Yes.
at different,
Yeah.
videos, whatever. But you were really confirming for me as a someone that was a friend
Yeah.
of like everything. Oh yeah, this is true. This is true. Yeah, it's kind of like somehow that really valuable, that confirmation that you're not going
Yeah.
crazy. You're not like out of your mind. You are out of your mind, but in a
Yeah.
in a in a better way.
Yes. You're out of mind and it's
So,
okay.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I
So the
love
point
that.
is, I highly recommend it for people to
Mm.
really sit with Ash, and it's a gift. If you're anywhere where he is, nearby, it's a gift to have that experience.
Oh, so receive that, and so look forward for us doing some more retreats together, and satsangs
I was
together.
gonna say, Ash and I are doing a retreat together. We don't know when, but it is happening, and you're gonna come to it. You're all gonna come.
Oh, I love it. I love retreats. I love retreats. They're so valuable. It's such a gift to have a retreat from your usual descriptive frameworks.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
have a note. I was looking at like the calendar and dates and stuff, and I have a
Hmm.
note on there to do. Do you know where you're gonna be in January yet?
In January, I don't yet know where I'm going to be in January. So that could be an option to do
Well,
something fun in January.
that's a good thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
maybe in January we'll be doing a retreat together, everybody.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Like a New
Stay
Year's
tuned for
moment.
that. Hmm. And you're doing personal sessions with people.
I am.
You
I
just did
am.
one
I
before
call
this,
them,
right?
I did, yeah. I call them, what do I call them things? Oh, and I just saw that Jamie came on. Hello, brother Jamie, here to hear. So much fun. Um, I call them self-realization mentorship. So it's like life coaching, but for those that
Cool.
want to go deeper. Yeah. So I love working
Hmm.
with people that have, you know, had life coaches and have realized all these goals and all these, and so they're exploring something a little deeper. And those that are just interested in living as love, as awareness, as benefit in their world. So it's fun. It's so fun. As you were saying, it's sitting here and getting to laugh and cry and
Yeah. Yeah.
confirm what's true about every beloved, because it's true for
Yeah.
every human being everywhere. This light, this presence, this well-being, this clarity. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved
The
what you did
retreat
with
we
the light
did
right
together in
now.
Boulder remains like I don't. Yeah, I saw
Oh,
you.
that
I
was
hate the screen and something
so
happened, but
that was so sweet. I loved that retreat in Boulder.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
in
That was 5 days, and that just
2015,
that just was such an
2014.
amazing time. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good one. And with the setting, the scenery of these Rocky Mountains and just extra special.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But it's true. Like there's a foundation. Like a lot of these retreats, you come in with the kind of almost have to agree there's something wrong with you that wants to be fixed. That's kind of what the agreement of the retreat is. So this,
Yeah.
do you believe that this thing is wrong with you? Come to this retreat. We'll try to fix it, or maybe we won't fix it. We'll give it our best shot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what we created was something other than that. Like there's absolute wellness that's here in this moment.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
like starting from that foundation, just created an incredible energy that we just kind of just exploded into the
Yes.
into the skies, into the atmosphere, into the cosmos.
Yes. It's so cool that we get to start with the truth. We get to start with what is.
Yeah.
We get to commence with what's real, and then just
Right.
explore that, and that's a whole other approach, and I find really beneficial and exciting.
Yeah, and I want to clarify too, when I say absolute wellness, that includes sadness, that includes
Oh,
happiness, that includes
yes,
pain, that
yes.
includes pleasure, it includes everything that you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not a denial. It's not a forget about all that
Yeah.
stuff and just be happy and
Yeah.
put on a smile or
Yeah.
no, it's
Yeah.
discovering that these things that we thought were so the opposite of happiness and whatnot, that there's such space for them
Mhm.
to exist and for them to have their own, and how freeing that is. So freeing to allow
Mm.
life to be as it is. Life tends to flourish when it is allowed to be itself.
We already have
Yeah.
one person coming to our January retreat,
Oh, well,
Jenny Peikoff,
hey. Oh, hey, Jenny. What's
who's
up?
from who's in Finland, right, Jenny? So she's going to come
Oh,
from
I
Finland.
love that. I love
So
that.
that's
It's
great.
so fun. There's things that I see, or there's things that you see that I can't see. Some of the comments and whatnot. So that's fun. Hi, Jenny.
That is
And
interesting. Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
and
because you said Jamie Cameron, I didn't see that.
and you didn't see that. Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Facebook is so mysterious.
Nataza, there's another person from Florida. She says, I'm in. And then
Oh, oh
Gabriela
yes,
Torres says,
Nafisa.
I
Yeah.
will be waiting for you. Someone wants
Yeah.
us to come to
Yeah.
London. Okay, fun. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's just juicy. Juicy, juicy, juicy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you feel inspired to share in this beautiful moment?
In this beautiful moment. Well, for anybody watching this right now, um, I love that this moment isn't limited to this click on a clock, to this time. I love that this moment isn't limited to this wonderful conversation, and I love that this moment isn't limited to uh, the world moving in one direction or the next direction. So it's a joy to say hello to you as this human, say hello to you as this energy, say hello to you as this time, and say hello to you as this that is, as this moment knowing itself, being itself, seeing itself, confirming itself, seeing straight through every atom, every molecule, every cell, every body, every planet, every celestial body, into the unwavering existence that is this moment. I know these are words and these are fascinating words, and closer and deeper than the word is this that meets and knows itself. So, what up, infinity? You can't hide from yourself. Uh,
Beautiful.
Thank you for.
What do I want to say?
What do you
I
want to
want to say
say,
something too.
self? Yay.
I want to say, first off, just how much I appreciate and love you as my friend and my
Oh, well,
brother,
that
and like all that
too,
we've
for
created
sure.
together, and all that we're going to create together, and the moments we get to share together. And yes, like I've told you multiple times, it's like I feel so. I know you're gonna laugh when I say this, but I feel like so. I don't know what the word. I won, or there's no word for it. Like I feel such a sense of inseparability that I don't feel like I'll need to talk to you. You know, it's like there's nothing really to say.
Isn't that
We're
so
here together
fun?
all the time. You know, we've like, yeah. So it's like, and I think that's people don't.
Yes.
That's my sense of like when I really feel like I've gotten to this space of inseparability, you know, which is very rare. But if I feel like I've gotten the sense
Hmm.
of like um,
Yeah.
unification with somebody, even that word doesn't quite fit, but
Yeah. Yeah.
oneness, then it's like, well, what's there to say? You know, let's talk for fun because it's fun. You know, let's share
It's fun.
stories. But it's not because I feel like, oh, I don't feel like we're close anymore. We have to talk. I never feel that with us, you know. It's
Yeah.
like there's
Yeah.
that's like impossible.
Yeah. It's
So
impossible. I
anyway,
so love that.
yeah.
Yay. I love you too. And I can't wait for
So
us to have some more fun together and do more retreats together and have more laughs together and
yeah,
more hilarity and
yeah,
all the silliness and the
Mhm.
It's
And
really
hang
really
out
such a
and
gift. Yes.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what I like is like now it's like when we do have our chance to share and catch up, it's like my feeling is like, yeah, let's do it with everybody, because like these conversations we have are so powerful and so beautiful and can benefit and
Yeah.
support so many people. Let's just do it here, you know.
Let's bring them all
So
in. Let's
I'm
bring them all
grateful. I'm
in.
grateful for sharing.
I am
Yeah,
too. I'm so
yeah,
grateful. And so grateful for the big glow
yeah.
and for the amazing community and support
Mm.
that is. It's so beautiful to just watch it continue to get brighter and brighter. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much, my friend, myself. We have a joke where we call each other self, but it's not really a joke. Yeah. Yeah.
So we do that. Yeah, yeah. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Ash. Such a pleasure.
Thank
Such
you.
gratitude.
Oh, so much love
And
and such gratitude. Yeah.
let's keep it going. Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm so excited to see what version of amazing is going to unfold.
What version of amazing is going to unfold next?
I know. What
We'll find
version?
out.
We will. All right. Thank
Thank you, Ash.
you so much. All
Yeah.
right.
Can we all just like take a deep breath? I remember one time doing a session with somebody, and they were like, "That just felt like a shower for the soul," you know. And that's what I feel right now. It's like that just like cleaned everything out, you know. Any kind of little spot that was like a little bit dirty or dusty. Beautiful. So I mean, listen to this as many times as you want, as many times as you can. This was a beautiful, beautiful episode with an amazing being who's been such a gift in my life. Um, and tunes, the replay, YouTube on the replay, SoundCloud on replay. So subscribe in those spots if you feel desired. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook. Subscribe to the newsletter. We'll get the information on the retreat. I am looking at January for our retreat together, so we'll get that. I'm looking at the second week in January, so like January 6th, that weekend. So stay tuned for that. And some amazing guests coming up next week. I'll tell you about soon. Love y'all so much. Thank y'all for being here. See you in the next now.